Good morning, beautiful and handsome students of God's First College. I am Mr. Herbert, a basic technology teacher. This morning, hope all is well with us. By the grace of God, it shall be well with us. This morning, we're going to look at your week 2 topic on basic technology called troubleshooting or fault detection. I come again, troubleshooting or fault detection. Fault detection also means troubleshooting. They are the same thing. What really do we mean by troubleshooting or fault detection? Before we go deeply, we have to look at the objectives of this lesson. That is what we intend to achieve at the end of this lesson or in course of this lesson. We call them the learning objectives. What did I call it? Learning objectives. One of them is the objectives are rather at the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain the meaning of fault detection or troubleshooting. You should be able to identify the objects that require fault detection. You should also be able to identify select tools or instruments that are used for fault detection. In other words, word troubleshooting. Now we look at the definition or the troubleshooting itself, fault detection. What is fault detection? Or what is troubleshooting? It is the process of finding likely fault in an electronic or in electronics. That is, in an electronic one or in electronics. What we mean is that looking for where faults are or where fault is in electronic using appropriate instruments or tools. What I simply mean by this is if you have a technician who works or repairs radio or television, your TV is bad, you just come back home from work, or your daddy just came back home from work, just to switch on the TV that I used last night or this morning before going to work, only to discover the TV is not on. It's a problem. There is a fault. Something has caused that particular TV not to on again. That is an electronic device. You take it to the mechanic or the electrician that will repair the device or the electronic. When you get there, first thing is for you to establish the fault, knowing where or admitting that there is a problem with this television. That is what the step here we call establishment or establishing the fault. These are the steps that are involved. You establish that there is a fault in this. If you have a patient who is sick and he tells the medical doctor, I am not sick, then the doctor should be looking for solution to the problem of that person. So the owner, since the television cannot speak, the owner of the TV should be able to speak for the TV that this TV has a problem. Then the next thing is for the electrician to now use the instrument to check where the fault is in that particular electronic that is locating the fault. There are some terminals in electronic. While we're working last time, we're doing preparation or construction or production of antenna, television antenna. I taught you where you have the terminals, where the red cable, the live or the uh, neutral cables are connected to. There are terminals also in that electronic. So the person in charge or the electrician will use the instruments to test the terminals and also the cables and all of that parts of the electronic. And then he will be able to say, yes, I found the fault. Bros or Oga, your money is so and so amount. because I will buy this, I will buy that, I want to change this, I want to change that. Because he has located the fault in that electronics or in that electronic. Then the last thing to do after locating the fault is to fix the fault. That is to make the repair, or we call it maintenance. You were taught maintenance in JSS3 to repair the electronic. He has then fixed the fault, whether he has used the oscilloscope, whether he has used the soldering iron, whatever he make use of at that time, he's trying to fix the fault. When he uses this instrument, he can detect, and a particular instrument that is used to detect can also be used to fix the fault, like the electric current tester. After testing it, can also be used to add to some of the other instruments that will be fixing the fault. Then we look at the objects. What are the objects that require fault detection? These are some of the objects that really need or require fault detection. We have talked about the television. You know the television, the radio, the torchlight used at night to see. Then talk of the game gadgets, the cell phone, and so many others. These are some of them. You see the radio, the TV, they are, some of them may be the model one, because each year or each season, depending on the company producing, they have the way they produce their electronics. Some may change the value each year, some may change. For example, the television, we started with the black and white, later the color, but still the combo, or the what do you call it? Like this one you're saying, this one is no more in existence, or it's no more on board. Let me put it, still in existence, but no more on board. Now we use the plasma. This is a television. This is a microphone. This microphone has terminals too. Cables are connected inside. There's a coil there that once it dies, there's a problem. The mic may not work. If there is a cut in the cable inside, the microphone will not work also. This is a radio, you know a radio, this is a radio, this is a television. These are some of the electronics that require fault detection. If you're watching this TV at night or during the day, just be watching, later you hear a sound and a smell or one bad odor come out from the TV. It could be a problem of capacitor, could be a problem of the coil, could be a problem of the bulb, could be a problem, any other problem could be. So you have to take it to the electrician that will fix that fault, and he will first of all detect where the fault is. That is what we mean by the fault detection. You taking it there will know that, yeah, there's a problem, or the man, while plugging it, after he has plugged it, it's not working, should be able to establish that, yes, there is a fault. Some may be talk, they will not function properly. We look at the instruments that we use in fault detection. To do this work, there are tools or instruments that are used, not just all the instruments or tools like the cutlass. Cutlass is not used in fault detection. We look at some tools or instruments that are used in fault detection. They are the soldering iron. We have discussed soldering in our last term, types of soldering. I even brought a soldering iron and floss and other things to your class to teach you how the soldering iron works. The soldering iron, we used it to melt. We used it to solder. That is what it's mainly used for, to solder components in that electronic. It is used to solder components like the electronic elements like the diode to the panel. The panel is that thing that looks like white. It is made of metal where other things are joined. If it has just like the heart or the engine of that radio or the television or the phone, It is also used to make soldered component. What was soldered before? You want to disconnect it or to scrap it up, you can use the soldering iron to melt what is there, what was melted there, then it could be off for you to fix a new solder there. Then the analog meter, it looks like a clock, but it's not a clock. It is a kind of device that is used to detect fault in electronics or to troubleshoot. It deflects its fingers. It has fingers, just like I told you, the finger hand of the clock, the hour hand, the second, and the minute. It deflects the finger. While you place the cables on the terminals or on the particular object you want to detect its fault, if there's a problem, there is a kind of deflection that will happen on the finger. Do you know that that particular object is having fault or not? If it deflects well, you know that okay, it is okay. If it is not, if it deflects the other way, you know that there's a problem. If it doesn't deflate the way it should do, probably the speed is reduced. You also know that there is a problem there. Then we'll talk about look at the digital meter. The digital meter is like the analog meter, but it is a modern one. This one shows values even in decimeter. That is smaller values. It shows it. That is the work of the digital meter. It is the modern one. Then the electronic current tester is like a screwdriver, but it's not a screwdriver. It has a ball at the top, close to where you hold it. It has a bulb there. When you hold it and use the tip to touch a particular object that carries current, the bulb will show light or indicates that there is light in that particular place. If it doesn't, like a cable that is naked, you use the tip to touch that cable, should be able to give you light on that bulb. If it doesn't, you know that there's a problem. You have detected that that problem, there's a breakage of current. It's not flowing through. Then another one is the oscilloscope. Oscilloscope looks like the mixer that is used to amplify sound in the church, in the mosque, and all other places. But it's not really the mixer. What it does is that the thing observes the shape of wave in electronic signal. If the wave, for example, you want to blow a trumpet, it's a way you curve your mouth, the sound will enter very well. So also the wave that comes, that is observed by this oscilloscope, have their own way. If it is too scattered, it will not be able to give the real sound that that particular electronic device is supposed to do. So this will observe the sound, the wave shape of the signal, how it's coming, whether it's too broad or too wide or too scattered, or it is close or converged. So there are ways we use oscilloscope to test that. Then we have the multimeter. The multimeter, we have the ammeter. These are other ones. The ammeter, the voltmeter. The ammeter is used to test for current. The voltmeter is used to test for voltage, to know how voltage is. But the multimeter does the work of both the ammeter, the voltmeter, and so many others. Let us look at some of these devices, these tools or instruments we are talking about. In picture, you see this is the digital meter. This is the analog meter. You can see what is recorded here, 0.385. This is the analog. This one, 0.385 we're seeing here, could be where if you have a resistor, a resistor, for example, that's supposed to give you 5 ohm. Then you now place this particular cable there. That is a cable that is connected to it. It shows 0.44. That means it's too low. It is far, far lower than the real value of that resistor. This one will display it. If it is 5 ohm exactly, this will give you the value of the resistor or voltage or current. For example, 2.4 ampere of a current. This one will also give you the exact value. This is the oscilloscope I am talking about. This is the analog meter. This is multimeter. This multimeter it's not a modern multimeter, it is a bit old. This is the tester, electric current tester. We'll see the multimeter, the new or the current multimeter. This is the current multimeter. You see this cable in both the analog meter, the digital meter, they have these cables connected to this terminal. This one is testing what is wrong with this thing. Positive, and the negative. That's the live and neutral. They are connected. So the value will be displayed here. You see how clear this is? The value will be displayed there. Right before we call it a day, this lesson, please remember we have discussed the use, we have said fault detection could also be called troubleshooting. Remember, we said fault detection can also be called troubleshooting. That is, it is a process of finding likely faults in electronics, be it television, be it radio, be it cell phone and all that. We've also said that there are some objects that require fault detection, like the radio, the television, and so many others. We have also said there are instruments used for detecting these faults. We'll talk about the electric current tester, the oscilloscope, and so many others. We have to stop here for the day. Do not fail to visit your portal for your assignment. Assignment on this topic is there at the end of the note uploaded for this topic. Your assignment is there. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Remain blessed, and we pray that we'll see in good health again. Thank you.